When I was initially told that I was not going to be able to go to advanced art and I had to take woodshop instead, like I said earlier, um, pure disappointment. Pure disappointment. But it did not take long for me to fall in love with woodworking. Like, seriously. I don't know if it was because of my dad, um, because, like I said, he was a contractor and I wasn't allowed to use his tools. But here I was in a class where I would be able to learn how to use the said tools. Um, Now, for a little perspective, this is back in a time way before YouTube, way before internet, and um, the only places like you would have to, if you wanted to learn how to use any particular tool, you would either have to go to the library and pick up a book and buy the tool and hope you didn't cut off a finger, or you had to go to a place like Rickles, see, showing my age now, and you would be able to take various classes at Rickles to learn how to use different tools. Um, One of the things that fascinated me the most was the bandsaw. You have this continuous piece of metal that's just going around in a circle, and you're able to not only make straight cuts through something, you're able to make curves. You know, so like the little game that I mentioned, it was like this little duck. Like we had made it was a duck or a goose or something like that, and you had this ring, and we didn't use a hole saw. I don't even think hole saws existed back then, but I'm trying to make it out seem I'll seem like it's been like I'm a dinosaur, but I'm not. But back then, we didn't have a hole saw. We had to use a jigsaw to um, to cut a hole in a piece of wood so that we can make a ring out of it. And that was even like made was bonkers. It's like, oh my god, you could use a jigsaw to cut curves. What is this witchcraft? And because as far as I saw from the things that my dad was doing, you can only do like straight cuts, and it always confused me. Why does this man have five different saws, and they all do the same thing? So, um, now I do wish that I had in junior high school. I wish I had used, um, had insisted that I got a chance to at least use, like, say, the tools on scrap wood or something, and try to make something out of it. Like the most I've gotten out of it was I used my dad's soldering iron to make keychains. Burning names into the keychains. Um, but like I said, I had so many ideas that I wanted to do, but like they showed us, the teacher showed us like the different things that they made in different classes before us, and I'm like, can we make that? Like one of them was a really nice looking um, chessboard, solid wood, the entire thing. And I had asked, I was like, well, can we make that? And the teacher's like, well, No. And then that's when he mentioned the accident that happened in one of the previous classes. Because the only way we would have been able to make um, like larger projects like that is if we were to come after school. And since there was that accident that I had mentioned, that was it. There was no more going after school to use the woodshop. Um, I don't. Yeah. Besides burning into the little sticks that I had found. Um, After junior high school, there was not really much that I was able to do as far as woodworking. Um, until um, I want to say it was my 11th or 12th grade. There was a chance that I was able to make a boomerang for my science class. Now, I didn't get. I guess I'm pretty sure I didn't use the right wood. I did not use solid wood for this. I used plywood. So I went ahead. My dad let me use his tools, and I had a book that showed me exactly how to do it. And I made a boomerang, and I made a report on how boomerangs worked, and then we went outside, and I was too nervous to throw it. So my friend Chris threw it, and it did nothing. It flew until it hit something and broke. And then I was like, oh damn. so, so as far as woodworking concerned, I think that was like the last thing I did until like recently. So like last year, um, I didn't have a dining room table. Um, we had lived here for a while, and the one thing that bothered me the most is that we didn't have a dining room table. And me and the person I was with at the time, we were talking about how nobody ever came over. So it's like, well, we don't have a dining room table, so we have no place for somebody to come over to. So um, I saw a video on YouTube. It just popped up in my feed, and I was like, oh, that looks interesting. So I was like, I bet I can do that. So I went ahead and took some extra money that I had, bought the materials, and it took me 3 or 4 weeks to make it, the original. And well, that's also because I was working full time at the time, and um, it was early spring, I think. Yeah, early spring. Um, so by the time I got it done and everything, and I was like, you know what? I can make these for other people. If they don't feel like making it themselves, I can make it. There are always people that don't want to do things themselves, which is okay. You know, not judging people who don't want to do anything, but um, I figured, okay, I can do this. So um, so that's when I decided. So like later on that year, after I did some research, that's when I decided, okay, I'm doing this. I'm gonna do this. This is gonna be my side job. But if you could just think about anything that you love to do, and you're watching whatever it is that you love to do take form, whether it is building a website or um, making a cake, you're watching this thing come to life. and you're getting excited because this is, everything's coming out Millhouse. So this is how I felt when I made my table. And I was like, this is what I want to do. This makes me happy. This is my happy place. This is the thing that I really want to do. I just love making things with